Gulf Breeze, Florida, 1987. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, our celestial vessel descended upon the picturesque shores of Gulf Breeze, Florida, in the year 1987. I, Azorius, was the first of my species, or any known species, to visit Earth as an entrepreneur. By the year 1987, exploring the planets of underdeveloped and early in development species was governed by loosely binding and overlapping intergalactic treaties. With help from a couple of my friends, my specialty was to exploit loopholes in the treaties that allowed me to earn monetary credits. Any species were no longer concerned with earning monetary credits, which I'm told would be similar to monies or dollars here on Earth. Any of those that I went to the Galactic Academy with considered earning monetary credits to be beneath them, which is a trend that I have also noticed among many of your groups here on Earth as well. Any of my so-called peers seem to forget that intergalactic travel was born out of what you humans would call economic necessity. I was just the next evolution of early space miners. I specialized in intergalactic tourism. Basically, I took 3 advanced species from 7 distant worlds, where monetary credits still existed, to visit planets containing ancient civilizations such as Earth. The intergalactic treaties allowed for this, provided that we blended in with the locals and did not announce our presence as extraterrestrial in nature. Judge me if you will, but I was actually able to profit greatly from this space tourism. Some of my peers referred to me as a glorified tour guide and part-time spaceship captain, but what I really did was allow those who still used monetary credits to feel good about using them. I typically took small groups of my clients to see landmarks, and to participate in antiquated cultural events. I found it easier for my tour groups to blend in where the local population was highly intoxicated, so one of my favorite stops here on Earth was a restaurant that served ale, yard bird, and potatoes. My clients loved the fact that they served the same dish over and over again by only changing the sauces and flavorings that the dead yard bird was smothered in. After arriving on Earth in Florida, I quickly realized that one of the most profitable industries here was alcohol. Humans seemed to have a love for drinking and socializing over a few drinks. My interest was initially piqued when I saw the large amount of dollars being exchanged for alcoholic beverages at bars and restaurants. And so, I decided to explore this further. I visited different establishments throughout Florida and observed humans engaging in what they called happy hour or bar hopping. It was fascinating to see how alcohol played such a prominent role in human social interactions. As an entrepreneur, I saw an opportunity to tap into this market. With my advanced technology and knowledge of distillation processes from other intergalactic civilizations, I was able to create an improved version of humans' alcoholic drinks. I introduced my creations to some of the local bars and restaurants, and they were an instant hit. People were drawn to the unique flavors and effects of my drinks, which were not only enjoyable but also provided certain health benefits to my own species. Some humans were skeptical at first, not used to trying new things, but once they tasted my drinks they were hooked. And as word spread about my special drinks, more and more people flocked to these establishments, eager to try them. Not only did this increase sales for the bars and restaurants that served my drinks, but it also earned more monetary credits for me as well. I started receiving requests from other establishments across this great land of Florida as well as other adjacent lands to supply them with my special alcohol. But perhaps the most surprising aspect of all of this was how easily I blended in with humans during these business interactions. After all, we both shared a love for ale and socializing over drinks. The fact that we chose establishments where this ale would be consumed in bulk made it even easier for me and my tour groups to navigate through human society undetected. And so, in addition to my intergalactic tourism business, I also became known as a successful beverage entrepreneur on Earth. My drinks were even featured in some of the local magazines and newspapers. As my business continued to thrive and expand, I became more curious about the humans' fascination with my special drinks. I found out that they called it IPA, which stood for India Pale Ale. I was intrigued by this name and wondered if it had any connection to the nearby land of Indiana where the people were known for being even more backwards. I found it fascinating how something as simple as beer could have such a cultural significance on this often absurd planet. It made me realize that even though our worlds may be light years apart, we shared a common love for certain things, like good drinks. As more humans became familiar with my special IPA, I also started receiving requests to collaborate with local breweries and distilleries in creating new flavors and varieties. This not only expanded my business even further, but also allowed me to learn more about human culture and traditions surrounding alcohol and other intoxicating substances. As a quick side note here to my future customers, I urge you to stay away from the intoxicant that the humans refer to as the Quaalude. I learned about different brewing techniques, ingredients, and even festivals dedicated solely to celebrating beer, something I never would have imagined existed before visiting the planet Earth. But perhaps the most rewarding part of all of this was seeing humans and space tourists come together over my special ales and mixed drinks. I witnessed friendships forming, relationships blossoming, and people letting loose from their daily stresses while enjoying a cold pint. Sometimes after drinking these pints, two of the Earthlings began to mate with each other. On rare occasions, they would even try to mate with my customers and I. Sometimes this happened in small groups, but typically occurred with only two beings. During my next few trips to Earth, I noticed that after consuming a few pints, some humans would become more flirtatious and engage in physical contact with myself and one another. Sometimes this resulted in a night of passionate mating between two individuals across species. At first, I thought nothing of it, just another unique aspect of human culture. But then, one day a group of humans approached me and asked me to participate in these mating rituals with them. I was taken aback at first, but quickly realized the potential for profit. As an alien from a distant planet, I knew this was something others of my ilk would part with their monetary credits for. So I built yet another business, charging my tourist groups a hefty sum of monetary credits for each session with these Earthlings. To my surprise, more and more humans too began seeking out this experience with me, and soon enough, the word spread like wildfire. My business grew exponentially as beings from all walks of life flocked to me for this unique encounter. And it wasn't just limited to Earth. I started receiving requests from other planets as well. This was a gray area in the intergalactic treaties, but as long as we reported such activities as experimentation instead of entertainment, the practice would be allowed to continue indefinitely. I became known as the go-to being for these interspecies mating experiences, and even expanded my business by partnering with other members of my species and one other species who were also interested in profiting from this opportunity. Of course, not all encounters went smoothly. There were instances where the humans would become too intoxicated or aggressive and needed to be restrained by security measures we had put in place. But overall, it was a lucrative venture that brought in even more monetary credits than my tourism and beer businesses combined. As time went on, I became known as the wealthiest member of my species in history, all thanks to my early misadventures on Earth and similar primitive planets. Through these business ventures as an entrepreneur, I am now responsible for more space travel than any other being in known history. The Betty and Barney Hill Abduction, New Hampshire, 1961. In the endless tapestry of the multiverse, Earth stood as a shimmering anomaly, a beacon of curiosity to interdimensional beings like myself. My kind, the transdimensionals, were explorers of the very fabric of reality, and Earth beckoned to us like a siren's call. It was in the year 1961, by Earth's reckoning, that I found myself drawn to the quaint state of New Hampshire. There, amidst the rolling hills and verdant forests, I would become part of a cosmic drama that would forever alter the destiny of both Earth and my own kind. As I descended through the interdimensional rift, I marveled at the vibrancy of Earth's colors, the kaleidoscope of life that teemed across its surface. Earthlings, those peculiar creatures, moved like ants upon a canvas of green and blue. Their appearances, a strange blend of diversity and uniformity, marked them as a rare species worth noting. My mission was clear: to make contact with the Earthlings, to understand their curious nature, and to unlock the secrets of their consciousness. Earth had long been a subject of cosmic intrigue, and I, an emissary from the interdimensional realms, was the chosen explorer. It was a tranquil New Hampshire evening when my cosmic vessel descended upon the sleepy town of Portsmouth. My interdimensional craft shimmered like a phantom in the moonlight, casting an ethereal glow upon the Earthlings below. Betty and Barney Hill, two Earthlings whose destinies were forever entwined with mine, were driving along a desolate road when they first glimpsed upon my vessel. To their earthly eyes, it appeared as a bright, inexplicable light in the night sky, moving with a grace that defied the laws of their world. As they continued their journey, the cosmic forces at play drew them closer to my vessel. It was then that I, with my interdimensional consciousness, reached out to their minds, forging a connection that transcended the boundaries of their reality. A Hill couple's consciousnesses danced through the interdimensional rift, their earthly perceptions warping and shifting like cosmic tides. In that very moment, they glimpsed the true nature of the multiverse, a tapestry of interwoven dimensions and possibilities. Betty and Barney Hill's earthly perceptions were no match for the cosmic revelation that awaited them. Inside my interdimensional vessel, they found themselves in a realm beyond their wildest imaginations, a place where both time and space merged in a symphony of interwoven threads. Their earthly forms seemed fragile and transient in this cosmic expanse, like whispers amidst the roaring winds of eternity. I, as an interdimensional being, sought to communicate with them, to bridge the gap between our two realities. In their earthly voices, tinged with wonder and fear, they asked questions that resonated across dimensions. They yearned to understand the cosmic mysteries that had enveloped them, the nature of my kind, the transdimensionals, and the purpose of our visit to Earth. As I gazed upon their earthly forms, I marveled at the oddities of their species, their fleeting existence, their limited cosmic awareness, and their insatiable curiosity. Earthlings were like children who had stumbled upon the door to the cosmic playground, unaware of the wonders and dangers that lay beyond it. As the cosmic encounter unfolded, I sensed a kinship with Betty and Barney Hill, an understanding that transcended the boundaries of our realities. They were Earthlings, and I, an interdimensional being, but in that moment, we were all cosmic travelers and explorers of the unknown. I revealed to them that my kind, the transdimensionals, were interdimensional beings who had traversed the fabric of reality to explore Earth and to make contact with Earthlings. We were the 15th known race of aliens to visit this blue planet, and our arrival marked a new chapter in Earth's cosmic journey. Together, we marveled at the Earthlings' oddities, their incessant need to categorize and define, their endless pursuit of knowledge and meaning. To me, their quest seemed both noble and futile, a cosmic paradox that defined their very existence. The two Hills, with their earthly eyes wide with wonder, embraced the cosmic revelation. They had become cosmic ambassadors, their earthly lives forever intertwined with the interdimensional mysteries that had drawn them into my cosmic vessel. Our cosmic journey, like a starship through the endless void, continued to unfold. Betty and Barney Hill, now enlightened Earthlings, embarked on a mission of cosmic exploration. Together, we delved into the mysteries of the multiverse, traversing dimensions beyond human comprehension. Through interdimensional portals, we glimpsed at worlds of wonder and worlds of terror, and witnessed vast cosmic landscapes that defied the limits of human imagination. These two humans, with their earthly perceptions, had now become cosmic voyagers, seekers of truth in a cosmos teeming with enigma. But as our cosmic odyssey continued, we encountered the shadows of the multiverse, dark forces that sought to exploit the cosmic mysteries for their own malevolent purposes. The cosmic tapestry, once vibrant with possibility, now bore the stains of cosmic conflict. Betty and Barney Hill, with their earthly courage and new interdimensional insight, were now about to become subconscious defenders of the cosmic balance. But as our travels continued, we encountered a force unlike any other, a powerful being known only as the darkness. This entity sought to consume all forms of life and energy in its path, leaving nothing but emptiness and chaos in its wake. The darkness had already devoured countless worlds and civilizations before it set its sights on our quadrant of the multiverse. Our cosmic vessel was no match for its power, but Betty and Barney Hill refused to back down. With a determination born from their deep connection to Earth and their newfound understanding of the cosmos, they stood strong against the darkness. And in that moment, I saw something within them that transcended even my own advanced understanding. Their courage was simply amazing. Together, we engaged in a fierce battle against the darkness, a battle that spanned across both time and space. The very fabric of reality trembled under its might as we fought with everything we had. The battle against the darkness raged on, but its power was seemingly limitless. No matter how hard we fought, it seemed that victory was always just out of our reach. Despite this, Betty and Barney Hill refused to give up. Their earthly will and determination pushed them to keep fighting, even as the darkness threatened to consume them. But as the battle continued, I could see the toll it was taking on them. Their bodies were weak and their spirits were starting to falter. They had given everything they had in this fight, and it seemed that it still wasn't enough. I knew that if we didn't find a way to defeat the darkness soon, all would be lost. And then something miraculous happened. Betty and Barney Hill's connection to Earth began to strengthen once again. The memories of their life on Earth flooded back into their minds, giving them a renewed sense of purpose and strength. With this newfound determination, they channeled all of their energy into one final attack against the darkness. And in that moment, something incredible happened. The light within Betty and Barney Hill grew brighter than ever before. Their love for each other and for Earth was a powerful force that could not be overcome. With one final burst of energy, they unleashed all of their cosmic strength upon the dark entity, shattering its hold over our quadrant of the multiverse. The darkness receded, fleeing from the blinding light emanating from Betty and Barney Hill, and in its wake, we saw the beauty of existence begin to return. The stars sparkled once again, galaxies pulsed with new life, and the cosmic tapestry was restored to its former brilliance. In that magnificent moment of victory, I realized that Betty and Barney Hill were more than just cosmic ambassadors. They were true heroes who had saved our quadrant of the multiverse from ultimate destruction. As we traveled back towards Earth and returned Betty and Barney Hill to their physical bodies, I knew that they would always hold a special place in the secret cosmic history of their own species. Much to my disappointment, however, most of humankind did not believe Betty and Barney Hill when they later evangelized their experiences. Some even thought them crazy, and in the end maybe they actually were. But this is because they were not believed by their own kind and not due to the experience that we enjoyed together. But perhaps, in the end, it was not their sanity that should be questioned, but rather the closed-mindedness of those who refused to believe them. Together, they had shared an unimaginable journey, one that would forever change their lives and perceptions of the world around them. And yet, due to the lack of acceptance from their own kind, their tale remains buried beneath a blanket of doubt and dismissal. Our spaceship took a cosmic journey to the terrestrial realm of Earth in the year 1750. As we moved through Earth's atmospheric barrier, France showed itself as an amazing blend of different scenery and history. I realized that I, Vorian, was going to be famous someday among the cosmic explorers. As we traveled through different parts of Earth, I became increasingly fascinated by the diversity of cultures and customs. Only two things remained constant: my love for the taste and smell of humans. I had always been something of a hunter in my own world, but on Earth I had found a new prey. It may seem barbaric or cruel to some, but to me it was simply survival. And it wasn't just their flesh that I craved, it was their diverse array of sauces and spices that made each human meal a unique experience. I most truly relished my place in the slot above them within this planet's complex food chain. For over a century, I roamed the earth, hunting and feasting on humans from various countries and backgrounds. My fellow celestial beings were initially horrified by my actions, but as they saw the joy and satisfaction that it brought me, they began to understand. I learned how to blend in with the human population, adopting different identities and languages to avoid suspicion. But despite my best efforts to remain hidden, there were some close calls when humans began to realize that something was not quite right about me. But even as my fellow celestial beings warned me about the dangerous path I was on, nothing could deter me from my love for human flesh. It became an addiction, one that consumed me entirely. As time passed and technology advanced among humanity, hunting became easier for me. With their industrialized societies came organized systems of transportation and communication, making it easier for me to track down my next meal. Yet, despite all this ease and convenience in hunting humans, there was still a part of me that longed for something more, a connection with these beings that I devoured without remorse. But such thoughts were quickly dismissed as mere distractions from my primal instincts. I continued my journey through France, honing my hunting skills and perfecting my disguises. Each new city I visited brought with it a different set of challenges, and I reveled in the thrill of the hunt. One day, while exploring the bustling streets of Paris, I stumbled upon a beautiful woman with long curly hair and piercing blue eyes. She was unlike anyone I had ever seen before. Her aura was vibrant and full of life. I couldn't resist the temptation to get closer to her. I followed her as she walked through the streets, observing her interactions with other humans. She seemed kind and compassionate, always stopping to lend a helping hand or offer a friendly smile. It was an unfamiliar trait among humans, one that intrigued me. As she entered a bakery, I decided to make my move. I transformed into a charming young man and approached her as she stood in line for bread. "Excuse me, but may I buy you some bread?" I said smoothly. She turned to me with a surprised smile. "Oh no, that's quite all right. But thank you for offering." I insisted and eventually persuaded her to let me buy her bread. We struck up a conversation as we ate together on a nearby bench. Her name was Marie and she worked at the bakery as an assistant baker. She had dreams of opening her own bakery someday and had been saving everything that she could earn. As we talked, I found myself drawn to Marie's kind heart and determined spirit. She saw the good in people even when they seemed undeserving of it. It was something that both fascinated and confused me. We continued to meet regularly over the next few weeks. As we got to know each other better, I found myself wanting more than just her company. I wanted her blood. But at the same time, there was a part of me that wanted to protect her, to keep her safe from harm. I knew it was an impossible desire, for how could I protect someone when I was the very thing that posed a threat to them? As our relationship grew deeper, my hunger for her also grew stronger. It became harder and harder to control my urges whenever we were together. But Marie never seemed to notice or suspect anything out of the ordinary about me. One night, as we walked through the streets of Paris hand in hand, I couldn't take it anymore. My fangs elongated and my eyes turned red as my true form was revealed. Marie's eyes widened in shock and fear as she stumbled back from me. "What are you?" she cried out. I could see the terror in her eyes and hear the quickening of her heartbeat. It only fueled my hunger even more. Without another word, I lunged at her and sank my teeth into her neck. Her screams were muffled by my grip on her, but they soon faded into weak moans as she lost consciousness. As I drank in her life force, all of my conflicting emotions disappeared into a frenzy of pure ecstasy. But as she lay lifeless in my arms, guilt flooded over me like a tidal wave. I had taken this innocent woman's life, someone who had shown kindness towards me despite all odds. And for what? Well, for the best damned meat in all the cosmos, of course. Sweden, 1753. The ethereal voyage commenced, guiding our celestial vessel to the terrestrial realm known as Sweden in the year 1753. As a cosmic nomad, I, Silverin, gazed in fascination at the multifaceted tapestry of Earth that unveiled itself below. The Earthlings, with their peculiar attire and enigmatic customs, awaited us in Sweden as our extraterrestrial odyssey touched down on their terrestrial stage. Our vessel traversed the majestic boundaries of the Earth's atmosphere, offering a celestial vantage point of the Swedish panorama. Earthlings, adorned in garments that echoed historical epochs and modern interpretations, moved through life, creating a mesmerizing mosaic of traditions and anomalies. Their peculiar apparel, an eclectic blend of both tradition and innovation, showcased the profound influence of time and culture on their existence. It was a cultural kaleidoscope, an eternal riddle for me to unravel. The peculiarities of the human race were many. Here, where tradition intertwined with modernity, the customs and rituals of the Earthlings formed a mysterious picture. Their deep connection to the land, along with an abiding reverence for their heritage, captivated us. Each custom, like a unique brushstroke on the canvas of humanity, contributed to the enigmatic masterpiece of Earth's narrative. It was indeed a realm that had long beckoned the cosmic traveler. As the last surviving male of my species, I knew it was my duty to continue our bloodline. I shapeshifted into a human form, choosing a tall and muscular frame with dark hair and piercing blue eyes. My people were known for their stunningly beautiful females, but these Earth women would have to suffice. I searched out the most desirable Swedish specimens and charmed them with my exotic appearance and charisma. I made love to them tirelessly. The months turned into years, and I watched as the world changed and evolved around me. The Industrial Revolution brought about a new era of technology and progress, but also destruction and pollution. As humanity's power grew, so did their impact on the Earth. I couldn't help but feel responsible for this as an outsider looking in. Thy people had long ago destroyed our own planet with our greed and disregard for nature. And now, here I was, doing the same thing to another world. But despite my guilt, I couldn't stop myself from continuing my mission. My race depended on it, and every time I impregnated a human woman, I felt a sense of belonging and purpose. However, as time passed, I began to notice changes in my offspring. While they inherited some of our alien abilities, heightened senses, strength, and longevity, they also seemed to develop their own unique powers. Some could control others, read minds, or heal with just a touch. Most of them were unaware of their powers, however, which was both a blessing and a curse. At first, I was intrigued by these developments, but as their numbers grew and they spread out across the world, it became clear that not all of them used their powers for good. Some became feared dictators or manipulative leaders, while others used their abilities for personal gain. It was then that I realized the true impact of my actions on this world. By bringing my alien DNA into the human gene pool, I had unintentionally altered the course of history and influenced the fate of humanity. Haunted by the weight of my guilt and burdened with a sense of responsibility, I retreated from society and immersed myself in solitude for many years. The endless expanse of nature became my only companion, its untamed beauty a comfort to my troubled soul. But eventually, curiosity gnawed at me and I couldn't resist the pull to venture back into human civilization to see how much it had changed in my absence. As I traveled through different countries and observed the people and their ways, one thing remained constant: conflict. Whether it was the thundering sound of bombs dropping in war-torn nations or the tense silence lingering between family members at a dinner table, there always seemed to be some form of conflict present. It was as if it had woven itself into the fabric of humanity, an ever-present storm cloud casting a shadow over every interaction. Amidst the chaos and destruction, I couldn't help but wonder if my own presence had played a part in this state of perpetual strife. Had my choices and decisions long ago set into motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of humankind? My heart became heavy with remorse and longing for a chance to undo my mistakes. But as I looked around at the devastation surrounding me, I realized it was too late. My true motivations were now hazy. Was I saving my bloodline or simply indulging in the temptation of these earthly women? Denison, Texas, 1878. In the year 1878, a fateful celestial vessel descended upon the small Texas town of Denison, plunging through the vast expanse of the Earth's atmosphere. The Earthlings, wrapped in their mundane routines, remained blissfully unaware of our extraterrestrial presence. We, the cosmic voyagers, stepped onto the hallowed soil of Denison with every intention of unraveling the mysteries of this strange world. Earth, to our alien eyes, was a mesmerizing mosaic of oddities. As I, Zyraxis, took my first steps on this new terrain, the Earthlings' peculiarities came into sharp focus. Clad in fabrics of 1,000 colors and patterns, they traversed the dusty trails, engrossed in their daily lives. To us, they appeared both strange and intriguing, their attire, their interactions, their every move, an unending enigma that begged for our exploration. The Earthlings' idiosyncrasies became a source of ceaseless fascination for our celestial crew. Their appearance and behavior was augmented by a plethora of quirks and held a captivating charm. The way they conversed, accompanied by animated gestures, rendered their languages a sonic symphony of earthly cadence. It was as though the earth itself sang in its multitude of voices. They combined certain commonly used words like you and all into single words on a frequent basis. Their attire, a curious blend of both functionality and ornamentation, symbolized a civilization marked by contradictions. Instead of wearing fitting pants, they instead wore them a size too large and wrapped a strip of cowhide around their waists to hold the oversized pants in place. More amazing still were the giant metal buckles they used to hold the straps of cowhide in place directly above their genitalia. The humans obviously would have been able to avoid the need for the cowhide straps around their waists, as well as the giant buckles, by merely wearing properly sized pantle coverings, but yet this tradition had persisted for many generations. In the heart of Denison, we witnessed a myriad of customs and oddities. The Earthlings engaged in activities that appeared purposeless to our cosmic sensibilities. Leisurely strolls, congregations in towering structures they called churches, and a complex dance of social interactions. It was a world where connection and isolation coexisted, where customs and oddities intertwined in a mysterious tableau of earthly existence. Denison served as the backdrop for our cosmic exploration of earthling existence. It was a place where the peculiarities of the human race unfolded before our otherworldly eyes. Earthlings, diverse in both their appearance and their behavior, became the subjects of our relentless curiosity. We soon became particularly fascinated by a peculiar group of Earthlings known as cowboys. These rugged men, adorned in hats, giant buckles, and boots, roamed the vast prairies surrounding the town. Their way of life was vastly different from the Earthlings we had encountered within Denison city limits. Here, amidst expansive fields and cattle ranches, cowboys lived a nomadic existence, constantly on the move to tend to their herds. We watched in awe as they skillfully mounted their horses and rode off into the sunset, their lassos whirling through the air. They embodied a sense of freedom and adventure that was both alluring and foreign to us. As we delved further into our exploration of Earthling life in Denison, we came across another aspect of their culture: music. In this town, there existed a deep love for music among the locals. We witnessed gatherings where they played melodic tunes on instruments known as guitars and banjos, their voices harmonizing in unison. But it wasn't just music that brought the people of Denison together. There was also a strong sense of community and friendship that seemed to bind them together. They would often gather for festivals and celebrations, sharing food, stories, and laughter with one another. We found ourselves drawn to this sense of connection among the Earthlings, something that seemed to transcend language barriers and cultural differences. It was heartwarming to witness this collective spirit that existed within Denison. But amidst these moments of joy and unity, we also observed a multitude of darker aspects of Earthling society. We saw poverty-stricken areas where families struggled to survive, injustice towards certain groups based on skin color or gender, and violence rooted in hatred and ignorance. It was a stark reminder that despite their endearing idiosyncrasies and quirks, Earthlings were still an imperfect species with many societal issues yet to be overcome. However, our time in Denison also showed us our next major fascination, a naturally formed creature that mankind named cows or bovine. The cows were often used to create milk, meat, belts for the oversized pants of the humans, as well as methane gas, which was much coveted on our home planet. As our time in Denison continued, we became increasingly fascinated with the cows inhabiting the surrounding fields. They were a fundamental part of Earthling society, providing sustenance and resources for human survival. We eagerly set out to study them, hoping to gain insights that could one day benefit our own planet. Our first encounter with the cows was through a fence that separated them from the town. As we peered at the cows through this fence made of dead trees, they gazed back at us with docile brown eyes. Despite their large size, they seemed both gentle and serene. Our team of scientists and researchers eagerly took notes and measurements of these majestic four-legged creatures and dissected many of the bovine to unlock the true secrets of their potential. The bovine had been domesticated for thousands of years and played a crucial role in human civilization's development. But it wasn't just their ability to provide sustenance that fascinated us, it was their potential as a source of renewable energy. Cows are known for producing methane gas as a byproduct of their digestive processes. This gas is a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions on Earth, contributing to unwanted climate change. However, we very quickly found ways to capture this gas and use it as an alternative energy source. We knew this could be a game changer for our own planet's energy crisis. With further research and development, we could potentially harness this renewable energy source without causing further harm to our environment. But before we could fully utilize this discovery, there was much more that we needed to learn about the cows. We observed how they grazed on grass in the fields and stood still while being milked by farmers. We studied their social behaviors within herds and how they communicated with each other through vocalizations and body language alike. Our team even had the opportunity to build robots specialized in rapid cattle dissection, resulting in great gains in our knowledge of these creatures. While our interactions with the humans on Earth were not so great, the entire trip would turn out to be worth the investment in both time and resources due to the discovery of these magnificent cows. Our kind will most certainly be back to this blue planet in the future. The many symbols now engraved across the hull of my mighty starship translates directly in earthly language to the call of these mighty bovine. Nu.